Hello, welcome to Airing It Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
This is Darth Jerry today.
Darth Jerry.
And today we're talking about...
Yes, he has put in a special request.
Special request.
Obviously to talk about...
Star Wars.
God damn. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the greatest movie franchises, be it Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a big one. This is overdue. We've been chatting about this in person in... Forever now,
Forever.
yeah. So...
And to clarify, we're counting something like the MCU as like a cinematic universe, not a franchise.
Uh-huh.
Because they don't all tie together. So I think in terms of
Oh,
pure franchises, they are the top three that
Yes.
we're talking about. If you think something else comes into that category, let us know.
Yes, we might add that later on.
Yeah, but
That being said...
our opinions are these are the three that people talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before we dive in, obviously you have to say like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon.
Yeah, it really helps us out.
It really does.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You can go now. There's going to be timestamps in the video description below, so you can click to exactly where you want to be.
As always.
But this one's going to be a little bit more all together. So hopefully it'll be more of a coherent chat.
We absolutely have no script
No.
whatsoever for today, so...
But we've been ranting about it for years, so I think we'll be able to figure out. No, so I guess we've watched all three franchises actually in the last year.
Yeah.
In terms of pure marathons. So we've done, Harry Potter over a couple months.
I wasn't there for every single one, but I have seen most of them for that run. We have done a Lord of the Rings marathon in January.
Yeah, extended versions all in one day.
Obviously, extended.
Of course, you can't do the
No, you
theatrical.
can't.
And we did Star Wars back in November.
November, yeah.
Which was a 2-day affair, because there's a lot of Star Wars films
There's
now.
a lot of them, yeah.
And then obviously saw 9 in cinemas. I've done Hobbit extended, Lord of the Rings extended marathon in one go once. It's about 25 hours of movies.
Wow.
I think it actually took slightly longer because it was while the third Hobbit film was in cinemas. So after the 2 Hobbit films, we went to the cinema and came back and continued, which...
That's intense.
We didn't book tickets as well, so they only had front row seats for IMAX left, which was like...
Yeah, you gotta go to massage after that.
Yeah. It was definitely like you'd watch
no.
Gandalf and you'd be like, oh, he's on the side of the screen. And your whole neck just creaks over.
No.
So,
I have to say, though, I've only seen a not extended version once
of Lord of the Rings.
of Lord of the Rings, and I was so confused. I was like, did I just fall asleep for a second there?
There's
or like,
so much missing.
yeah, because there's like actually important stuff missing. I'm like,
Yeah, like one of the main villains just disappears. Oh,
no.
man. But no, so you have to watch the extended version. That's the version that we'll be comparing.
Definitely do that.
I haven't seen... Have you seen the second Fantastic Beasts film?
No, Grindelwald.
I've not heard great things.
No.
So I missed it.
Haven't
But
seen
here
that
we go.
either.
Ah, well.
Maybe if you can make a compelling case, we'll look into it.
Yeah. I have strong doubts anyone will be able to.
Yeah. Just
Like-
from the overall reviews.
I didn't really enjoy Fantastic Beasts either. It's just a bit
I didn't mind it, but it was... Huh.
But in terms of mainline franchises,
Yeah.
I don't like when people put Harry Potter in the same league as Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Uh-huh. And why is that?
So,
Tell me, Josh.
why, thank you. It's written like there's no plan. So in terms of...
Yeah.
Like, okay, so for just Harry Potter,
Yes.
the things that bug me, so we just watched Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2
Yeah, the
like
other
last
day.
weekend, yeah. And it is literally, especially the Part 1, is a huge lore dump. All these things
Yes.
that they've kind of been hinting towards, but they never touch on.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, we need to get this out, because they tried to put pretty much everything from the books into the film. They've not cut anything for the later ones, especially.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to squeeze all this stuff in. And I think it's mad that in the middle of the second battle, they're like, oh, so there's this lost diadem. They even have to define what a diadem is, because they're like, no one knows. They're like, oh, it's like a tiara. And you're like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks. But it's this famous lost diadem. And then he's got time to find a ghost in the castle of the school that he's been at for, 8 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
Have a wee chat. Find the lost diadem that no one's ever found in the room that he's actually been in a couple times now.
Yeah, so he might have felt it being there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually finds it, destroys it, all in one go in the last movie, during the final battle with Voldemort. It just feels so convoluted and rushed, and like there's no plan, or like the Deathly Hallows in their entirety. It's like when Harry gets his invisibility cloak and Ron's like, oh, an invisibility cloak, wow.
Yeah.
There's a rare. And then it's like, there is one
huge thing.
There is one invisibility cloak in the world, and most people doubt the Deathly Hallows exist, it seems, you know. And then Ron's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, as if that's so normal.
So it's just things like that. Or,
No,
I mean, everyone
sure.
knows about the Time Turner, where they're like, we've written ourselves into a hole. I think anything that is explained in the books but not in the film is inexcusable, because the films should stand on their own.
Yeah.
I think it's very fair enough to have like extra details, or like Lord of the Rings, how they just don't have every character, you know, and they amalgamate some, like Arwen has way more to do in the films because they just took like 5 L's from the books. And were like, oop.
No, that makes sense. Like if you manage to not incorporate something at all, then you don't have to mention it.
Yeah.
You know, because then it's like, then it is a proper adaptation in the sense that a film just doesn't have the time to go through everything. Wow, hello, I'm German. Everything, and so, you're dead. No, to then be like, okay, we're just gonna scratch that from the script is totally fair.
Yeah, because I think it's the same problem that Star Wars fell into in the later films, where they obviously just didn't have everything written out.
Yeah,
and they've admitted that. I
trilogy.
think that's mad that they didn't write the whole trilogy before writing each individual film.
Yeah. See, I think in terms of structure, Harry Potter would make so much sense if they like destroyed a Horcrux in every single book.
Yeah.
You know, it's 7.
Yeah.
It was like,
and they kind of like in the second one where they destroy it without knowing.
Yeah.
They could have done that for a good few films.
Yeah.
Before it's like, what is this? Why is this making him weaker? You know, or something.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, so we've had one. Dumbledore did one off screen that killed him. Sure.
Yeah.
And then we've got 6 more in the final 2 films.
Yeah, it's a bit mad.
Although, question: if any of you are Harry Potter fans,
Yeah.
I don't care about the books, so I want the movie version. What kills Voldemort? It really bugs me. So they're having their wand off.
Yeah.
Right.
As per usual.
They're just
they like doing that.
touching. And Harry's cast Expelliarmus.
Yes.
So he's going to disarm him if he wins. And we've seen that duel thing go to the end before, and it just disarms. It doesn't like deflect Avada Kedavra or anything like that. We know that's not how those duels work. So he's going to, if he wins, Voldemort gets disarmed. And if Voldemort wins, Harry dies. Right?
Yes.
All of the Horcruxes have been killed. But that shouldn't, like, there's still an 1/8 of Voldemort's soul in Voldemort. Right? So they still have to kill Voldemort. They kill the snake. The things fail. Like, they drop their PP. Whatever this is, where the ones
The
touch.
connection.
And then they cast it again. Harry wins. Voldemort loses his wand. Harry catches it. Then Voldemort kind of goes, oh, and disappears. What killed him? Because it wasn't the snake dying. It wasn't him getting disarmed. You'd hope.
Yeah.
Did the wand, like, cast it back? I just feel like it doesn't really explain it well. I would thought it would be cool if they just have Harry just like, I'm running it over. And you're just like, yeah, right. But, like, it's gotta happen.
No, I think that's what they are trying to say, though, with, like, the wand doesn't actually, follow. He's not the master of the wand, and that's why the spell bounces back, like, it reflects onto him.
Sure.
So, like, it might be a thing of, like, Harry's Expelliarmus not actually being the thing that is hitting Voldemort, but it's the thing that is pushing the
Yeah.
Avada Kedavra spell all the way back to him, but that's like, I don't know, that's
You're
also
really-
very visual what they're trying to be like.
I
show us
don't
with
think
the-
they do it. I don't think visually
all the way
it's there.
through the wand, you know. when
Yeah,
see-
they had a very dramatic death, and they were like, let's just not bother explaining it. People won't ask questions.
They would probably like, oh my god, the effects of his skin like
Yeah,
flaking
yeah.
off is
Everyone
so
would be
cool.
very distracted.
Yeah,
That's another thing. Why does he disintegrate?
we're paying attention. By the
Yeah,
way.
we're paying attention.
Yeah.
Why does this happen? Because the
'Cause
only
it's
time
cool.
we've ever seen a wand deflect back is eat slugs.
Yeah,
But that's because the wand's
broken.
bent. We've seen lots of people. In fact, like Hermione breaks Harry's wand literally one film before by casting a curse, and it rebounded, breaking the wand, not the user. So should Voldemort using it not break the wand, not him? And that's only one film before. That's not even like a lower rewrite. They hopefully knew what they were doing by then.
Maybe because it's the Elder Wand and it's so powerful that it doesn't just break the wand.
But it does break the wand because you see it crack.
Yeah, you do see it crack. I'm just
They're
making
all
stuff up. By
over.
now, 'cause
I
don't
know. But if you know, I'd be really interested to know.
Yeah.
Because it's. I mean, there's things like in terms of Star Wars actually that I'm happy to be not explained in the film, but there is an explanation. So like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, why it's all crackly. So the crystal, the kyber crystal in his lightsaber is broken.
Yeah.
Now that is a detail that does not need to be in the film at all. For the film, you just go, oh, that's cool. But if anyone ever goes, but why does it have the cross guard and is all crackly? You just open the visual dictionary and go, okay, cool. That's not plot detail, that's just lore detail, which is what books are for.
Yeah, nothing in the film is built on knowing that fact.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah.
Whereas, but how did Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber? From Bespin, a gas planet, that it fell down. That's plot detail.
Yeah.
That needs answered in the film, not, oh, we did a novelization.
Yeah, it's so bad with the final trilogy. It's like, oh yeah, it's explained in these books, and you're like, I mean, it would make sense for something like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings to be like, yes, it was explained in the books because they existed.
And they just did a crap job of adapting it and missed it.
But with Star Wars, it's like, no, you are a movie franchise. If it's not in the movie, we are missing it.
Yeah, and that's the novelization of Episode 9 that has come out now. Is like, oh yeah, so, well, Rey's father was actually a clone of Palpatine. Palpatine in the film was a clone, so that's how he survived, because he cloned himself, and Snoke was this weird Force energy clone dark side creation of his, and you're like, there is a time and place to give this information, and it's in the movie.
Yeah. Not
the dark side of the Force, the pathway to many abilities, and you're like,
yes,
okay,
and also
cool.
not just at the very end of the movie, and you're like, this is the final stage of a trilogy, and we are only starting to figure out what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's
really
like, oh, I'm all a Sith, I'm all a Jedi, and you're just sitting there like, this is cheesy.
I gotta say, I was very happy to hear all the voices being like, oh, this is...
But she doesn't know who they are.
She doesn't know who they are.
That's for the audience.
No, that was
It's
absolutely...
like, oh, cool, that's Ahsoka Tano, who is not even a Jedi anymore. In the Clone Wars cartoon, hope we're all happy.
Yeah.
There's such fan service.
I feel like that last film was a lot of fan service. Like,
and I think,
bringing back all the old characters as well.
Yeah, but 8 being what it was, obviously giving J.J. Abrams the reign, he wanted to go back to what he did in 7, so they kind of skipped 8, and because of that, you could literally just watch 9. Like 7 and 8 are pretty much superfluous. And I think, so I'm not a fan of 8 personally. I think it's an awful movie, but I would rather they continued the plot thread they did from that and owned up to mistakes that they made, rather than try to double back in it, which in a trilogy is too...
It just doesn't work. I mean...
Do you know what does work?
What?
Writing your trilogy first, like Lord of the Rings did.
Yeah.
And being like, this is what we're gonna do. Let's film them all in one go. Release them year after year.
That's actually so smart that they just... I mean, obviously that's a huge endeavor and like will cost so much money, but to be like, we have this trilogy, we're just gonna do it.
Money. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Like Disney could have done it if they wanted to.
Probably.
Yeah. Whereas even... I think you can tell in the original trilogy that, like Han Solo in the third one, in Return of the Jedi shouldn't be there. He does nothing.
Yeah.
And there is that kind of there is that question of whether or not he dies when he's in Carbonite.
Yeah, that's
and they
fair.
decide to extend it because he's a character that people like. But I do think there is that kind of, why is he here? You know, it's definitely the weakest of the three.
Mm.
Whereas,
oh, for sure, yeah.
the prequels, for what they are the most. Everyone's in it for a reason, except Jar Jar. Well, he's meant to be comic relief, but
that has its place as well.
Yes, definitely.
Even though I don't necessarily subscribe to the humor most of the times, and you're like, really?
Yeah, I think.
I know, but it's so iconic by now that, you know.
What, Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the lines.
Yeah, I think, well, especially the prequels have kind of embraced their memeability.
Yes.
Which,
for sure.
Good for them, because I don't think, especially Revenge of the Sith, which I'll admit is my personal favourite.
Mm-hmm.
Not from a cinematic point of view, that's obviously Empire. But in terms of if you came to me on a Saturday night and said, oh, I want to sit down and watch a Star Wars film, watch some lightsaber fights, you know, definitely Revenge of the Sith.
Definitely lightsaber fights. Yeah.
It's fun. It's just a fun movie. Most lines in it are a meme, which makes it hideously quotable, which is a good quality for a film to have.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
There's actually, so for our film, when we were doing auditions, we had like a 2-hour gap.
Yeah.
Between auditions, I guess, just scheduling. So we did a scene from that I might post after this. I'll put it up that you can enjoy.
Yeah.
But that's just us when we had lots of time.
Which we do have now as well.
We'll do a whole recreation of the final battle.
Oh my god. That would be insane.
But no, I do think it's just a fun movie. Which is, like, yeah, it's a bit campy, a bit cheesy, and the dialogue's a bit but it embraces that, whereas...
No, that is the style, you know? It's not like, it's not just a part of the film where, like, what's going on in these 30 minutes or something. No, that is the film, and I think that's also part of why it is so successful or has such a huge fan base, is because you can so easily latch onto all these things and like, okay, this is iconic, this is cheesy but iconic.
Yeah, I don't think there's any part, like in Last Jedi, when they go to Canto Bight, the casino planet. Yeah. And you're just sitting there like, why?
Yeah.
Why are they here?
There's like
they don't need to be here.
Raising social issues in
a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
You know, you're placing, it's like, oh, they're making weapons for the good guys and the bad guys. And you're like, I don't care. Move on. Like, yeah. Whereas there's no part in the prequel or the OT trilogy where you're like, why is this in the film? Except maybe the Ewoks. But they're there to sell. So, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we love the Ewoks.
Yeah. Jerry's a giant Ewok.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Imagine Ewok Sith. That would be crazy.
It'd be cool.
That'd be like...
I'd be down. Whereas, this is the thing actually, so we've not spoken a lot about Lord of the Rings. Because it's great. It's the best one. The characters are all consistent. The writing is perfect. The CG holds up. I think there's 2 scenes I can think where the CG is a bit like, and that's in The Mines of Moria. Yeah. There's just one shot, actually no, 3 scenes. 3, clips. So there's the bit where Aragorn and Frodo are going like towards the camera, and it just looks like a blue screen. In Mines of Moria, so like as they fall, as the bridge collapses.
Yeah.
And it does just look like it's kind of like rotoscoped on, and you're a bit like...
Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely looks like they are standing still, the camera's moving towards them.
And nothing is behind them.
And they're doing like a... Whoa! Definitely have done that before, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's a very smart trick to just have the actors be still and the camera move towards them, because it still looks, if you then have a green screen background, it still looks like everything's moving. There's
the bit when... I think it's only in the extended version actually. In the 3rd one, when Gothmog, the orc captain, general, steps to the side of the boulder, and then there's like the troll that's like, oh? And I don't know, the troll just looks a little bit out of place. It's just
but
not,
I think
not
it's
quite
such a
perfect.
cool moment of him, like,
Stepping it, yeah. And he just spits in it with his giant open mouth.
yeah.
And then when they're walking up Mount Doom,
Mhm.
there's a bit where Sam like stumbles, and again it just looks very fake.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just after Frodo and Gollum continue on fighting, and Sam's been knocked out. He gets up and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And I don't know. Again, it just looks a little bit like that didn't happen. But to have 3 moments in a film nearly 20 years old that don't hold up CG is incredible.
To have like the entire Balrog fight.
Oh, it's perfect.
It totally
And that's
works.
like fire. They've got water effects in that as well, which is really hard to do.
I do think like I would add one more moment in the Mines of Moria is this really wide shot of the group, like the Fellowship running, and like the little ants coming down the sides.
Yeah, no,
like,
I do know the one.
But that just looks a little bit like it's a video game shot.
It's the same when they're running across the bridge.
Yeah.
There's like a large pan, which
I think what is really smart about what they did and when they use CG is that it's only for shots that are that big.
Yeah.
You know, so it is like, this is just the entire scenery, and that's CG, and that's why we use it, because that's just not possible at all.
Compared to The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Where the orcs is CG, even, I think it's mad that, like, the orcs are what they are, but the wargs, the, like, wolf mounts for the orcs, look so bad.
Yeah. Comparing to Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Where they, obviously, for the wides, CG doesn't matter, and then the close-ups had models moving, and they're, like, there, and you can see the hair, and you can feel like when Gimli's stuck and it comes up, you're scared.
Yeah.
For Gimli, whereas in The Hobbit, it's just...
Yeah.
There's just something missing.
And I don't even think that's a matter of money, because animating all of that
must cost a fortune. Yeah.
Must be so expensive, and then it's in a way just a matter of time and putting in the effort to build these things. Yeah. And that's definitely, I think that's just like pre-planning, because you need to give it more time ahead of the shooting.
Which The Hobbit didn't have.
Yeah.
Because there was that whole thing of, is it Guillermo del Toro? I think was meant to direct the third one, and then they got Peter Jackson in last minute, wouldn't extend the schedule. It's like, you have 18 months to get the film out. So there's lots of videos of him like crying on set, just like unable to get it done, and they're like, just film it and we'll CG like the battle.
No.
Which is such a shame when you think, like, because I wish if I ever got into that situation, I'd just turn to the producers and be like, look, I made Lord of the Rings, one of the greatest movie trilogies ever.
Yeah.
It made billions of dollars. Give me more time. Like, it's printing money.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to make money if you do it right.
Yeah, people will watch it, and then you might as well give them a good film.
Yeah. Like,
oh no.
So stuff like that where it's guaranteed, which I understand for less assured box office successes, why you'd be like, no, okay, like, we just need to get it out. And then it's, okay, maybe it's not a great film and it doesn't make any money. But generally, the better the movie. Like, if you give them the time they need.
Yeah.
In saying that, I think the White Council, so Elrond, Saruman, and Galadriel versus the Nazgul fight in the third one is so pretty.
Yeah.
I love the CG there. That's the one time that the color grading kind of matches the aesthetic of The Hobbit. Whereas usually it's a little bit over contrasted. But
or like oversaturated the colors.
Yeah.
That was weird, because I did see The Hobbit in high frame rate as well. So like usually in cinemas you will have a frame rate of 24 frames per second. And so they were showing this in 48, so double the amount, which means that you have less motion blur. Yeah. And it's just like everything that you see is like very crisp in that sense. And that definitely added to the higher contrast and the higher saturation colors. And it was just like, oh, way too much in your face. Like, it was too, I don't know, just too clear. Like, it seemed fake because it wasn't, like, it didn't have these slight
errors.
Yeah, errors, just like because our eyesight is also not entirely perfect.
No, for sure.
Mine.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I think one thing that they all share
Uh-huh.
is excellent music.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is
Oh,
interesting because I
absolutely.
think Harry Potter, they had John Williams
Yeah.
and got rid of him after 2 movies.
Hmm.
Which is a bold move. I think I quite like the music of the last 3 films
Yeah.
and the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's a large gap in the middle though.
I think it's also just a matter of like you don't recognize. Like
Yeah.
I could tell you theme songs from the first.
Well, it's themes.
Yeah. It's John Williams.
It's
You
John
know.
Williams, yeah. Whereas like Star Wars, that's why it's done so well. I think it's actually bizarre that Rise of Skywalker got an Oscar nod for the music.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I've seen it twice. I remember subtly thinking after the first time I saw it, I don't really remember the music from it,
Uh-huh.
which is rare for a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Whereas even like 7, and to a lesser extent 8, had the March of the Resistance theme, which is good, and Rey's theme, which is really good.
Mm.
And especially like at the end of 7 when she's walking up the steps, they incorporate Rey's theme into the the Skywalker theme, which is amazing. It's really well done, into the credits, which is obviously the credit crawl. But I remember, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the second time and actually think about the music and see if I notice anything. There's a lot of bits where it's just stealing themes from other films, which has its place, for sure, but I think it's a bit of a shame that they had no original music or didn't use any of it to any effect, really. Like there's no battle music or anything like dramatic when all the ships come in. That's your moment to have a new something, whereas it's just more of the same. So it'd be like praising the last Harry Potter film for Hedric's theme. And it's like, we know it
could definitely have been sort of like a Palpatine theme.
They could have even had the opera music from the Revenge of the Sith.
True, yeah.
When he says the exact same line that they just plucked.
That's true.
But that would have been cool. Like that would have been that's a clever use of music. Whereas having like Kylo Ren land with the music, I think it's of like the 501st March from like the prequels. Yes. That's the blue clones that kill all the younglings. I'm kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Good choice, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's not. I mean, he's like 100 now, John Williams.
Yeah.
But it's not really.
Yeah, maybe
special.
he also. I don't know. You're not necessarily in that situation, but say maybe for Harry Potter, he was working on a different project and therefore couldn't do it, which is a shame because obviously what he does is amazing.
The thing that I think is it. Alexandra Desplat.
Deplat.
I don't know. But there's like statues, which is the name of the song, and Dumbledore's Farewell.
Yeah.
Like they're good. The Order of the Phoenix theme.
Good.
They're good. Good tracks.
I mean, you can definitely tell like how important a music track is. Just like watching it with audio off and like subtitles on, you're like, you are not getting like watch a horror film without the music score. Like,
well, I think it's
just not scary anymore.
Amelie got really bad previews, like critic previews, because the version that was out was musicless. But you think about how great the music from that film is mad.
That's insane.
So it's really interesting. But I think, again, Lord of the Rings knocks out of the park.
Yeah.
So I listen to the soundtrack a lot. And I think, given how long the films are and how much music there is, it's incredible that there's like note cues that like I know exactly what's happening in the movie right now. Yeah. Where they don't have that for either film, apart from like the opening theme of all of them. I think I could be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I know what's happening to a point. As soon as it changes, I'm like, this is just Rey's theme. Presumably Rey is on screen at the moment. And that goes for all of them. Whereas like Imperial March is a great track. Yeah. But if you played it within the soundtrack, I'm like, Vader's walking somewhere.
He's walking.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. What's your view on fan service, actually, speaking of Vader walking? So like the end of Rogue One.
Oh.
Did you mind it?
No, not at all. I thought it was really cool because
the best
like
scene of the film.
Yeah. No, I think that kind of stuff is really cool. If it is like a little nod to, it's more than an Easter egg.
Yeah.
But you definitely, especially with like creating a universe as well, this is what makes it part of not just the universe but also part of the franchise, you know, because it ties it in. And I think that's really cool, especially because it's kind of like Rogue One definitely works as a film by itself, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just absolutely fine. But then to be like, yes, but it also makes sense with
watching them back to back is incredible.
Yeah.
Because you're all of a sudden like the whole, oh no, we're just a diplomatic ship. You're like, nah, he's not just mean. Like he knows they're lying as well. Like they just followed him. So
yeah. No, I think that's totally fine. And especially with franchises, your fan base is so important.
Yes. Although interestingly, so I have a friend. I had a friend. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in ages. Yeah. But he did work on Rogue One.
Oh, wow.
And had access to the early versions of the script.
Ooh.
So I had a wee chat with him about it. And originally, so the whole reason they've got like the back to tank scene and stuff, so they're going to have Vader like still really healing and super weak to explain why he's so slow in 4 when he's fighting Obi-Wan.
Fair. Which
is interesting. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes so much sense.
Because they only filmed the hallway scene about 2 months before the film came out, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's super late. Which kind of, I mean, I see why they did it. I do love that scene, but I think it would have been cool as well if there was like a
bit more of it.
Yeah. Have you seen is it called Scene 38? The CG recreation of the episode
Obi-Wan.
4 fight?
Yeah, I think
between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Yeah,
some
no.
YouTube channel. You should check it out.
Absolutely, yeah, I've seen it.
And they it's really well done.
It looks amazing, yeah.
But yeah, it's like they've used original footage and they filmed some stuff themselves and a bit of CG to recreate that fight a little bit more dynamic, which I think is cool.
They've done a really good job.
It's incredible what they can do. I'll chuck that video in the link below if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
Because that is really well done. It does just kind of show, okay, if those films came out now, what they could look like.
Yeah.
In saying that, the lightsaber fights in the sequel trilogy suck.
The fights themselves, because I was gonna say like the CG in
Star
gorgeous. Wars is amazing. Like they definitely every single time they got nominated for an Oscar, very much
100%. And I also think the cinematography combined with the CG, especially Last Jedi, is gorgeous. I think it's the prettiest film in that saga.
No, definitely props to that. Like they know where they are spending that money.
Yeah,
that is done really well.
But the fight scenes themselves, are abysmal. So you've got, the one in 7 is like 2 people with a baseball bat swinging at each other.
Yeah,
I think I could recreate that quite happily when I was 10, swinging a lightsaber around in the street. Awful.
That's a bit...
9, the fact that they were like, it's the greatest lightsaber fight ever in the marketing, and you watch it, you're just like, this one? Maybe there's another one coming.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm like, I can't really remember a great, like,
I think they incorporated the Force well. So like they Force block a lot, which, cool, I guess.
But we have seen that being done better in episode 3 when they like actually...
Oh, they like force... Yeah. It doesn't need to be like... Because there is a bit where it's like 3 swings in a row or like blocked with the Force. You're like... Okay. And... Yeah, I mean, the final fight is awful. And like the dark with the strobe light going off. And then... Like, I think Kylo Ren's like... Is cool. Like, that's a cool moment where he pulls a lightsaber out of somewhere. Force transference.
With the guys...
Yeah, with the Knights of Ren that are there to get killed.
I mean, that's a cool one. It's like,
but the actual fight itself is
very cool.
Awful because he's like, there's the bit where he turns around, holds the lightsaber behind him, and then the other guy attacks his lightsaber, and it is literally like he's there a little bit too early, so we're gonna wait to then hit his lightsaber, and it's not a block at all, and it's, eek. And then obviously we're coming to it. The fight in Last Jedi, is so bad.
Yep.
And I think the thing is, like, if you watch it once, I don't think you'd notice. Because it's filmed well.
Yeah.
But there's so many bits.
It is, that's also the thing, like, it's pretty. And it's like, oh, what a cool room. And I definitely like the red armor and stuff. And it's like...
The guys are cool. They got cool weapons. But no.
not put to use.
Not at all. And there's bits there. So if you don't know what we're talking about, it's the throne room scene right after Snoke's been killed.
Yeah.
And like there's a bit where Rey, how does she do it? Yeah, she blocks the guy with two blades.
Yeah.
And he like swipes up, but as he does it, he's got a blade here, and then here he doesn't. They've CG'd it out because they realized in post that it would just kill her. Like he would definitely hit her. Or the bit even like it's cool when she's there, and then it's when she drops the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because they're like block, drops it, cuts his legs off, I guess.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't work because if you've got two things with force against each other.
Yeah, so I'm still like pressing down here. If you release that pressure,
I'm like,
I'll
drop
straight.
Oh, I've been killed. So it's like, yeah, okay, they've almost like penned it out and gone, oh, that would look really cool.
Yeah.
But not actually put any thought. There's the guy at the end who's like with the whip, and he's just been standing in the background for 5 minutes while they all kill each other.
Yeah.
I'm just
especially
really
like comparing it to. I don't even want to get into a specific film, but
any of the fights in 3.
Yeah, no, but also like martial art movies where they go from weapon to weapon to weapon.
Yeah.
Is super cool, and as like people have done that so well.
Yeah.
We're just like it can be done, guys.
And also uniquely, like I never get bored of watching that. So I think like episode 3 I think is undoubtedly the best lightsaber fights in the franchise. So I think there's more emotion in 6 and 5, but in terms of I want to watch people with lightsabers swinging each other, you go to 3. 1 kind of started it, but there is bits in that where like Darth Maul swipes, Obi-Wan jumps, and you don't need to jump. Like that wouldn't have hit you.
Yeah.
Which fine, but I think the effort they put into especially the final fight in 3 is incredible.
Really
it's not sped up, which is insane.
Yeah.
The two of them trained for ages, and it's well documented how much they trained.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they can't do that again.
No.
So I feel like what they went is, okay, we've done that perfectly. Let's do something different. And in doing so, kind of reverted to something a bit worse.
Yeah.
But if you watch like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, there's the fight where they go through all the weapons.
Yeah.
And even when it's just 2 swords, I'm like, oh no, I could watch. Like I've seen this before. You haven't. There's ways to make them unique and fun. Or for lightsabers, have you seen the trailers for the Old Republic game?
Ooh, I don't think so. No.
It's like 40 minutes of just pure lightsaber action. It's incredible. It's all CG.
I might have.
There's the bit where like he throws the lightsaber and it blocks off.
Yeah,
I might have watched it. Yeah.
That's two Sith against.
Two Sith.
Yeah.
But it's incredible, and you watch that and you kind of go, why aren't the new films like this? Like, I mean, it looks incredible, and that's CG only. Never mind if you had humans in it. Like, it would look amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with like Crouching
Tiger.
No, but like those are people who are like actual martial artists, so I understand that for an actor trying to do these things, it takes a hideous amount of time, which like for episode 3, they have put in that time. You can really tell, and it's paying off. And I understand if they don't have that time.
Yeah.
You know, not to that extent.
I don't know. I think like they obviously worked out a lot. Like watching actually 7 and 8 back to back is almost jarring because at least 8 and 9 there's a time gap.
Yeah. But
7 and 8 are literally follow on from each other, and Rey goes from being a hideously skinny, like desert, whatever scavenger. Yeah, to like built.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, Daisy Ridley's good props to her for working out, but it's a little bit jarring.
It must be that weird milk that she drinks from
the squeezy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. High protein. But like, it's obvious that they've put tons of training in that regard.
Yeah.
And to be like physically fit enough to do the fights, but not have the actual skill to do them. And I think they get close, but it's just not quite polished enough.
It's such a shame.
Which is a shame, yeah, because they are pretty. Like, they're well filmed. The CG's great. In saying that, Lord of the Rings, I don't think the action is anything incredible.
Yeah, no.
There's no bit in that I would be like, oh, let's watch just that fight scene.
I think because it doesn't really come down to, like, one-on-one fights. It's all like huge battles, and that's what they do well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's also, like, we talked about this earlier. If you have a battle like Helm's Deep or Minas Tirith, like, the way it's told, like, story-wise, is so smart that you have an idea of the entire map, you know.
Yeah.
People are coming from there, they're going there, this is where offense and defense is, and they're going for it. And then, I don't know, there's so many other battle scenes where, in The Hobbit, for example, and they're just, like, they're coming out of nowhere, and
people are dying, but the heroes are fine. In saying that, I think, though, to compare it to Game of Thrones, briefly, so the Battle of the Bastards, I think is my favorite large-scale battle scene ever. Like, it's incredible. It's so well structured. So, like, 3 acts to the battle, every single one is done perfectly. It's great. And then compare that to the White Walker battle, episode 3 of season 8, where it's just dark. You don't really know where anything is.
You don't really know what they've got.
They've just got stuff happening. Does just show how little things make such a huge difference, right? I think, like, their Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith are incredible, but if it was like sit down and watch one, I would choose Battle of the Bastards. It's just a bit like you see people dying.
You see people dying.
But yes, whereas they're
definitely
good.
Helm's Deep is my favorite.
Fair. I mean, it's incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Toss me.
Don't tell the elf.
Don't tell the elf.
But definitely, like, it's
so cool.
Lord of the Rings, the thing that makes it okay, though, is it doesn't need that leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Like, there's no part in that where I'm like, oh, it'd be really cool to have this epic one-on-one. I think maybe the only bit would be polish the Eowyn Witch King fight a little bit. That could be cool if they did that a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it's not just this giant maze getting flail. Apart from that, I think it doesn't really...
that's over a bit quick.
Yeah. And maybe the Ringwraith fight with Aragorn and them in the first one, you could fancy up the choreography a little bit. Yeah. But I don't think it needs it at all.
No, I think it's good for them that they don't have, like, such a, like, one predominant character.
Yes.
You know, and that's why you don't have this, like, end boss battle, like, one person against the single villain at the end. Although,
have you seen, so there's the original CG renders of the final fight at the Black Gate. The troll that Aragorn fights was originally Sauron.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a couple clips on YouTube. It's bizarre. But Sauron manifests himself physically and fights Aragorn in the end. Which is why that troll is so powerful and, like, knocks him to the ground and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But they cut it because they thought that it would be confusing for the viewers.
Yeah, no,
to be like, why decision. Sauron is there physically, and I mean, they do explain it in the books and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, he's gotten more powerful, blah blah blah. But it's not necessary, and I think the troll works just fine.
I think that's a smart decision as well.
Yeah, no, definitely same.
So I'm an idiot. Yep. I forgot to wipe the SD card before we started filming, so here we are. Yeah. God, you noticed right away. Otherwise, we would have waffled on for
30 seconds in. I was like, hang on a second.
Wow, someone's paying attention at least. That's good.
But that's fine. Jerry's got his lightsaber back. Oh. We changed clothes. We're gonna walk the dog, so we figured we'd put some human clothes on, which is probably good because we
wore human clothes before.
Lies. But Harry Potter.
Yes, we were talking about fights, and
we're talking about fights.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the duels in Harry Potter that I enjoy.
Yes.
Which there are 2.
Number one.
Never said this before.
No.
Was when Professor McGonagall expels Snape in Deathly Hallows Part 2. Because I think the fire effects are really cool. It's like the swirls. Really well. They're done really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call that like a fight though, because it is literally
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then it's kind of done.
I have to say, like, fire also, like, when
Blaze. No.
I was talking about like the when they get the diadem and the whole like the thing.
Yeah,
burns.
yeah, because that's, or maybe it's like Goyle.
Yeah.
Goyle. I don't know. I thought his name was Blaze, the
Oh, okay, yeah.
the other guy.
The other
that
guy.
they add in later.
No, but
So I thought that'd be
whole
hilarious.
fire
if they
stuff
sent it.
is done really, really well.
Yeah, but it's a little bit like that's just you're running from a big fire thing.
Mm.
If you remember when Dumbledore does the fire in Order of the Phoenix is good too.
Oh yeah,
They've got their fire effects.
they've got their fire
Nailed.
effects.
But the only other duel that I think I'd watch would be the end fight in Order of the Phoenix.
Yes, speaking of Dumbledore.
Yes, but
Yes.
well, this thing. So it starts with the kids, and I think that bit's done quite well. They're kind of running away from the Death Eaters. They're obviously out of their depth.
Mm.
And then the Order of the Phoenix come in, and they have the duel, and there's that great bit where Gary Oldman, Sirius Black, does like the wee flicker,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, it's done beautifully.
Yes.
Although I realized this in the second one actually. So he obviously dies. He gets Avada Kedavra, but someone deflects that in Death House Part 2. Like,
oh yeah, that
in
it is
the battle.
possible. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so it is possible to deflect it with like the shoulder deflection, whatever. That's how they deflect spells, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, oh, okay. So did he just not?
Yeah.
Like, presumably just caught him off guard. But I always wondered, I was like, okay, so if that's just an instant kill, why wouldn't everyone use that spell? But fine. And then obviously that runs into Dumbledore and Voldemort, which is great. The CG's done perfectly, and I think that's what Magic Fights should be. Because when it is just, I'm going to kill you if I win the magic duel, it's boring, but it's like, okay, so we've got glass, turns it into paper, the water bubble, the fire. Like, it's done brilliantly. And, you know, he chucks his cape at him, and you're like, okay. I don't know what that spell is, but sure. But I think that's just, they kind of mix up, they do lots of different spells, and it's done beautifully. The effects are great.
I do have to say though, because that fight to me raises a lot of questions about what their magic can do, you know, because it's like all the stuff that they do is in a way very basic, so it's like what kind of magic is possible in that universe, because they can obviously create fire, water, I don't know, they can do all sorts of stuff. Yeah, no, but it's true. No, but it's in a way kind of weird what the magic in Harry Potter is used for.
Yes.
And then thinking about what it, I don't know, if you can do magic.
Well, it's like when
there's so many more things.
Weasley, the mother, kills Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah.
She freezes her and then explodes her, and you're kind of like, so Cruciatus Curse is banned, but that's fine.
That's totally cool.
Like, what's the practical application for that isn't exploding people?
I don't know, blowing up balloons for a kid's birthday party?
Could you imagine? Pop! Ah, oh, damn it. Another one. But in terms of, like, adding magic later on and stuff, that's something Star Wars definitely fell victim to in the later films. Which I think the Kylo Ren's Force Freeze is fine. I'm okay with that.
In episode 7 when
he freezes the ball. I'm like, okay.
Very cool.
And it's only ever one at a time. You know, or one person's arm. So you kind of think, why didn't we see any Jedi do that in the Clone Wars? It's probably not that practical when you're fighting 10,000 droids. Yeah. Fair enough. But in terms of something dramatic, something a bit different, something new, cool. Yeah. But when it's like, okay, so we've got Force visions now, like where they're talking, it's like, you're not doing this, the effort will kill you. And they kind of hint at that when Luke brings himself in. And like, okay, that's cool. Sure. Yeah. Okay. And then Force healing. And I hate the people that justify that by like, oh, it's in the video games. I'm like, well, of course it's in video games. It's a video game. You know, it's that or back to tanks. But like, that shouldn't be the reasoning, because that raises so many questions. Like, especially when she kills Kylo Ren, she stabs him, and then Rey's just like, oh, that's okay, you're fine. Yeah. And you're kind of thinking like, but Obi-Wan, a Jedi Knight, and Qui-Gon Jinn, you couldn't just go and you're fine. It's the exact same wound.
And
I just don't buy it. I'm all for like, okay, she's naturally powerful in the Force. If that's the route they want to take, and like the uncontrolled Force lightning, I'm okay with that. But in terms of like, oh, she's so powerful, she has these abilities that she doesn't even know exist. Yeah. is
No.
kind of...
That's kind of weird. It starts
Yeah.
with a snake and
Yeah.
it's really like, so this exists.
Yeah, and kind of also, they did it in Mandalorian with Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, why is it okay if Baby Yoda can do it and Rey's not? I'm like, I'm not sure I'm okay with Baby Yoda doing it either.
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of way out left field. And I feel like the only reason he does do it is because they knew it would come out a week before 9 was released in cinemas, so people are a bit more...
Maybe a bit more well, if they would have released it worldwide, then maybe people
Yeah, not that we've seen Mandalorian, because it's
No.
not... I don't think it's... Maybe it's out now, actually.
It is out now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I keep seeing adverts and thinking, wow, it looks great in HD. Damn it. But no, like, definitely adding things later on is a little bit... Whereas...
It's annoying, yeah.
Lord of the Rings, having a ghost army in the last one, while they are very much, like, Deus Ex Machina, and that they just wipe the floor with it, it's like, okay, but they've lived in these caves. You know, there's a reason. If they were out roaming and he was like, oh, we'll just recruit them, you'd be like, why is anyone alive in this world? Like, everyone should be dead.
Yeah.
But they don't add anything.
Very well explained that it's just like that one time, and then he releases them as well. Which
is good, because yours though was that thing of like, why wouldn't you keep them for the Helm's Deep battle? It's like, but you don't know they're doing that. They don't know they're doing that yet. They've not had that conversation to do that. And he's sitting there like, release us. We have thousands of ghost army. We'll kill you all.
If you don't release us, we will release ourselves.
So, like, I've never had an issue with that. In terms of why... Actually, that'll be the one thing that is in lore in the books that could have been said in the film is why the eagles don't fly into Mordor. Because there is an in-lore reason to that. And actually, it's quite a funny story. So Tolkien got a letter, like, complaining, like, oh, why wouldn't they do this? And he wrote back, and it's this great, it's like a 2-page lore response. Then at the very end, it's like, it'd make for a really boring book. Yeah. But no, so it's, if you don't know, the eagles are on the same kind of level as Gandalf, in that they're Maya, which is kind of angels, which is why Gandalf's immortal as well. So you get sent back because his job's not done. So he's of the same... Sorry, I can just feel it falling. But the eagles are on the same level, and if you think about how Gandalf can't have the ring because it would make him so powerful, and even Galadriel, who's not on that level, she's just an elf, and is like, you know, goes all mad. So the eagles are that powerful, which is why they only come in once the ring's destroyed to save them.
Yeah. Or to save him. Or
to save Gandalf, which is far removed from the ring. We'll ignore in The Hobbit when they chucked that out the window and picked up Bilbo as he had it on him.
Yeah.
But that, we don't talk about The Hobbit. In terms of, actually, talking about like greatest franchises, I'm happy to discount The Hobbit and discount Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
And as well, like Solo and Rogue One, if you're not a fan, you can just say they are not
part of the franchise.
I do enjoy Rogue One. I think Solo's fun. I don't think it deserved the criticism it got.
No, absolutely not. I think that's also such a shame because, I mean, talking about like what we did in the last episode, like mid-tier stuff, I think Solo does what it just set out to do. It's just entertaining. And I think we definitely need those kinds of films that aren't like critically acclaimed and high. You know, it's like with books. If you have all these amazing books that are just like, I don't know, literal.
I think I've read Wuthering Heights.
I don't know,
twice.
Yeah.
Horrible book.
Yeah, because it's like,
but like it's well written.
It might be amazing.
So dull.
It might be amazing, but it's also just, I don't know, if it's 3 pages of describing the color
people complain
of
about the Game of Thrones books for that all the time. It's like, yes, everything's very detailed and now.
Not enjoyable.
Yeah.
Not to me, at least. I don't know.
Although, interestingly, so the eagles at the end of Lord of the Rings, come back to that, there's an extra one in case Gollum survived.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, in terms of, like, they animated it.
No, it's like there's an eagle.
Oh.
So, like, there's 3 eagles come.
Yeah.
And one of them's meant to be for Gollum, which is...
That's so smart.
It's very sad, though.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
No, but I totally get that in terms of like they are above the whole battle situation of Middle Earth, like they are impartial in that sense.
100%. And that's why they don't, like, if someone was like, oh, so you're immortal and you live 10,000 feet above anything that's happening. Why don't you help in this battle and die? No, thank you.
No.
They do touch that. I think it'd be interesting if they made The Hobbit for adults, because like they briefly touch on, oh, so you think elf lives are worth more than dwarf lives? And I'm always sitting there like, yes, like you are thousands of years old, and these dwarves are gonna die in the next 50
experience and
years.
wisdom.
Yeah, well, I do think the worst position to be in would be an elven prince.
Yeah.
Like Legolas is just in there, so I get the throne. Never. Like assassinations within families must be so common. Like, I'm king now. It's like, I've been waiting 8,000 years for this. It's like Prince Charles.
Finally. So, what do you want to do? I don't know. I haven't put much thought to that.
Yeah.
So what do we do as elven kings? Nothing really. We're in isolation.
We have giant deer things.
Yeah. True.
Elk. Oh no. Yeah.
But I also have to say, like, going back to fight scenes.
Yeah.
I think just the whole magic wand fights, they just don't lend themselves well to fights, because like I think what is really cool is usually like when they get up close and, you know, it gets a little bit nasty.
Harry Potter.
No, just overall in fights, you know,
yeah,
when it
yeah,
gets actual close combat. That's also the thing with, like, okay, if you have a shootout, it's not
fine.
Spectacular if you just have like a bang 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 and like they're all dead,
100%.
because then it's like cool,
Great,
good marksmanship,
done.
but you know, and I think it's a bit similar with Harry Potter and just like having
It's always a range. They're just
There's-
flinging
yeah.
the exact same spells at each other.
yeah, and you would probably not be able to, well, it ends up them not actually saying whatever spell they're casting, so it's just like a. It could be cool to have like this spell needs that response in order to block it.
They could definitely
That'd
flesh it out.
be
I think
insane.
it is more, they explain more in the books.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it takes away from the films. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can, once you're proficient with magic, you can cast spells without saying it, but
No, I think that's why also it's a smart decision for them to just keep them at a quite low length. Yeah, just like
none of them really
short
get
length.
on. Oh, in saying that, I think in terms of character development, Harry Potter wastes the advantage it has over the other two, in that, well, if you count Star Wars as 3 trilogies rather than one continuous, because I don't think there's any characters that extend for the whole thing. No, of course not.
Palpatine.
No, doesn't count. That's so bad, actually. He is as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was done awfully.
Yeah.
But there's 8 Harry Potter films,
Yeah.
and they could have fleshed out these characters so much more. But I think so when Dobby dies, I'm a heartless person, and I felt nothing, because he's not been in the films for 7 movies. He's in the second one. He's in the second to last one to die. That's it. That's all he's there for.
Yeah. No, you said it was like when he dies, he's like Dobby's with his friends, and you're like, you haven't seen these guys
like
in 6 years.
But they could have built up
earlier,
character
but
development. He could have helped with some of the things in the Triwizard Tournament or something.
Mm.
Like, he could have been about, because I think he does get a job in Hogwarts in the books, but obviously he's not in the films. But I do think it was just kind of fan service to bring him back to die, because they needed a way for them to get out of the jail that they were in.
Yeah.
And I think that's a shame.
He's the get out of jail free
He's
card.
literally but I think that's a shame, because obviously the rest of them are kind of confined to shorter films, and yet like Lord of the Rings gets me every time, because if you don't know, they try, like, it is hinted at, but they don't outright say it, 'cause I think it'd be sad. But like the end of Lord of the Rings, so Frodo's going into the West to die from the stab wound he got from the Morgul blade. A lot of people don't pick up on that, and I'm kind of like, I mean, it's all in the film. You don't need to go and read Wikipedia to figure that out.
That's why they're all crying.
Yeah, that's why they're so sad. They will never see him again. He's going there. He's gonna die. That gets me every time. You know, and I'm like, they have that potential to do something like that with 8 films, and it just doesn't. And it doesn't extend into the cheesiness of Star Wars, where you're just having a great time watching 2 best mates try and kill each other, where it's fun.
Yeah.
Which I think is a shame, because
See, I felt like with what they did with Sirius Black, and like just the short amount of time that he existed in the films, and
he dies much quicker to when he's in.
Yeah.
So he's the same. Like there's a gap.
But like you definitely care for him just because of like the role that he plays for Harry Potter, and yeah.
Again, I'm still just wondering why he couldn't block that spell. We'll never know. Because he does do the shoulder.
Maybe he's like to bring Marvel in. Maybe he's Doctor Strange, and he knows that that's the only way that Harry will win.
If he dies.
Yes.
To be fair, maybe he's the time turner to see the future. We don't know how it works.
Yeah.
No one knows how it works.
Because that the arc, I don't know. I'm not too well read in the Harry Potter.
Shocking.
But like the one that
the
he does
arc that he goes into
disappears into.
Yeah, where everyone else is like, it's just an empty archway, Harry. And you're like, okay. Sure. I'm sure this is explained in the books, but it ain't.
Because apparently there's a second one, like somewhere in Hogwarts.
Oh, a death archway in a school.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Hogwarts is just like the place of everything.
It seems to be.
No, I think I've seen some random video of like conspiracy theories.
No. Well, it's the same when the trailer for Fantastic Beasts came out and people apparated. Oh no, it wasn't Fantastic. It was the second one. Crimes of Grindelwald. They apparated within Hogwarts grounds.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, "How dare they?" And that was like the teleport thing, which you're not meant to do within Hogwarts. I don't care. I'm more concerned by the fact that like Professor McGonagall's in it and she wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
At this time of the film, that's like you've messed up your lore.
Oops.
Just bad writing, but fine. But no, I think for me it would be the mainline Harry Potter films, the first 6 Star Wars films, 9 if you really want to include the last 3, and then Lord of the Rings trilogy. In terms of ranking, I think Lord of the Rings trumps it every time.
Yeah.
Watch it
also,
at least
just like
once a
because
year.
all of it is good.
Yeah. Oh, people always say, "Oh, what's your favorite Lord of the Rings film?" Why would you watch just one?
I do have to say though, they definitely.
Second one.
I would say the second one is the best, but I do have to say they definitely work much better as a trilogy than as single films.
Yeah, I don't think you could jump into one like the second or third one to just watch on its own is. Whereas, like, just watching a Star Wars film is fairly easy.
Yeah.
They're much more contained. The thing I was just thinking of then was... my thoughts have gone...
Dum, 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 dum,
dum. Damn it!
Well.
Oh, no.
That's alright.
We can cut forward.
We can come back to this in another episode.
Just fast. Oh, that's so annoying. Hang on. Ah, yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
After that short break.
Ad break. Yes, we can put like an ad break.
Brought to you by Squarespace.
Not yet.
We're working on it. No, so people always say the second one is the most impressive because it's hard to do a sequel.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. People like Aliens.
Yeah.
Terminator 2. Not Predator 2.
Yeah.
But in terms of like Empire, you know, it's good. Attack of the Clones is somehow worse than Phantom Menace. But most of the time, like, it is possible to do a second film pretty good. There's not many trilogies with a third one. So like Mummy 2's okay, Mummy 3,
Yeah. But I also have to say, like, they set up the second film rather than the first one is completed and the second one
they definitely couldn't have stopped.
Thing.
Yeah.
So like after the first Lord of the Rings film, that would be like there is so much story to still go that obviously the second film makes sense to come out.
But no, for a trilogy to be so every single film well done, I think the third one for me is probably the most impressive. That they managed to do stuff new, like John Wick 1, great. John Wick 2, great. John Wick 3, it's like, okay, we're getting a bit tired.
Yeah.
I don't think Lord of the Rings gets tired by the last one. They managed
No.
to step it up. Like, the scale is bigger in every single way. Which I think, props to them.
Yep.
I think that's cool. So in terms of most impressive, for me, would be 3, but I would never just sit and watch 3
Yeah.
on its own. Whereas I would happily sit and watch any Star Wars film on its own, and Harry Potter. From 3 onwards, I try and avoid the first 2. They're dated. Like, they haven't aged great. And they're children acting, which never works. Child actors are always bad, aren't they, Jonas?
Excuse me.
Oh, man. Don't actually be offended. My mum will think you're upset.
No, I'm absolutely not. I'm very confident in everything that I've done.
Sure. Right. We will call it quits.
Yes.
We've decided on the greatest movie franchise of all time.
Exactly. If you
Rings.
think we're absolutely nuts because of what we think, what we believe, if you're what is it called, a Potterhead? No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mad.
If you disagree, definitely leave a comment.
Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, click the bell icon. Thanks for listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
The real takeaway from this is Jonas is an idiot.
Yes.
And we will
Absolutely.
we're gonna have 2 cuts in this one. It's
I will have to go deep within me and fix something.
You can do that on your own.
Yes.
All right. Have a good one.
See you.
Cut.